Hey everyone, welcome back to the tutorial of Chatbot using Python. This is Dinesh here. In the last tutorial, I have shown you how we can create a chatbot using Python library called Chatbot. I found it as helpful for many and most have sent me a mail querying how can we integrate the same chatbot with an user interface. Therefore, I have planned to come up with another tutorial of Chatbot. In this tutorial, I will show you a demo of Chatbot integrated with an user interface, and in the next tutorial I will explain how this chatbot works and what is the logic behind this Python library called Chatbot to generate an automated response for a user input. Thanks for your valuable comments which encouraged me come up with this tutorials. Now before I show you the demo of a chatbot integrated with an user interface, I will walk you through the code that I have updated from my previous tutorial. So I recommend to watch my previous tutorial on chatbot first before watching this tutorial for those who are watching this tutorial for the first time. First let me start with chatbot underscore train.py. So if you see in this Python file, these are all the code that is same from my previous tutorial. So if you watch my previous tutorial, you can able to understand the code that I have written here. I have just converted the same code into a Python function called setup, and in the below I am invoking the same setup function. So if I run this file, it will train my chatbot from the location data where the data are available. So if you see in my data folder, I have a list of conversation files I am using to train my chatbot. So these conversations are already available in Chatbot corpus, which I have used in my first tutorial. I'm taking few conversations and using to train my chatbot. So it will train my chatbot for every file. Now if you see, it has completed the training. Next let us move on to the next file. Chatbot.py. So to this file I have made some changes. Let me start with logic adapters. Logic adapter is a function that comes along with this Chatbot Python library to improve the accuracy of the response. If you notice here, I have given 0.70 as my threshold to generate a response. So based on this response, it will pick up the reply from my trained model, which is the data which I have used to train my model. So and appropriately it will reply based on this 0.70. So for any unrelated user input which gets a threshold of lesser than 0.70, it will reply with "I'm sorry, I do not understand" as a default response. So it helps us to filter the appropriate reply for an user input. Based on the score, it will filter. I will explain how this 0.70 is computed with an example in my next tutorial. So next the rest of the code are all same. Bot equal to chatbot. If you see my first tutorial, these are all the same thing. And bot.setTrainer will train my will pick up the data from my trained model, and this while loop also remains quite similar with my first tutorial. So if the user input is not equal to by just a filter, so it will get a response from my bot. In order to send a response to the server, it needs to be converted as a string to integrate with an user interface. So I'm just converting the result from my bot response and converting it as a string by using string of result and saving as a reply. So I'm converting this entire code as a get response function. So this is a change that I have updated from my previous tutorial. And in addition to Chatbot Python library, you should also install one more package for this tutorial. So it is simple WebSocket server. So this package is available in GitHub. So this is the simple WebSocket server package. Go to this link and download this package and install it using python setup.py, and you can able to use this Python package. So this simple WebSocket server helps us to send the message to the server and receive the response back in an UI. So next we have server.py file. So if a user sends a message to Chatbot, it will be passed through the getResponse function to generate a reply here. So this getResponse function is what I have explained in my previous Chatbot file. So this is a getResponse function, and so I'm just importing the getResponse function from my Chatbot file and using the simple WebSocket server from my installed simple WebSocket server Python package. And addition to this, I'm also having a UI file which is written in HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So if you open this, you can able to see the code also. So it's a simple chat window where you can able to chat and see the reply. Let us move on to the demo now. To run this chatbot, you need to type python server.py. If you run this command, it will open the server. Next, you have to right click the index file and open with browser. So it will open the chatbot window where you can start chatting. Do you feel? So if you see, all these responses are coming from my chat from a model which I have trained. So from this list of conversations, and you can use your own conversation to see the response. So if you see, I'm typing some unrelated question to my chatbot and it replies with "I'm sorry, but I do not understand." Since when it computes this user input and gets the threshold as lesser than 0.70, so it is not at all similar to my trained model. response, so it replies with I do not understand. So this is it I want to show in this tutorial. So in the next tutorial I will explain how this appropriate replies are picked and how this 0.70 is calculated and what is the logic behind this Chatbot Python library, and I will explain you with some examples in order to understand. And thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope it will be helpful for those who are trying to connect the chatbot with a user interface. Please share your comments too in the video below, and addition to this, I've also shared my entire scripts for the chatbot tutorial in my GitHub. So if you see in my GitHub account, I have uploaded all my scripts and also given some description of the files and instruction to how to run the files and all. So you can go to my go to this link. I have shared this link in the video below, and download this entire chatbot project, and you can use the same script which I have explained now, and you can see the demo for yourself. Thanks for watching this tutorial.